Okay, let's see. I can figure it out. I'm sure I can.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Hmm. I'm trying to figure out how I do that. I thought it would be, oh, yeah. Okay, there we go.
Just share with, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we've got about 15 seconds to go.
Watch party. Okay.
Right, we're going live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen who have joined us on this Dr. Fundi channel via multiple social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also via my website, including those who are following Dr. Theo on her Facebook page. Today, it's a continuation of a program that we've been running for the month of August. As we know, today, it's still August. Yes, the Women's Day was on the 9th of August, but in South Africa, the whole month of August is dedicated to women. And what we've been doing on this channel, is to find inspirational, phenomenal women who are doing great things across different professions or careers. So today, I've got a special guest, Dr. Theo Motheo-Frendo. She is the CEO of African Dermal Science. That's the company that she owns. That's the company that she founded. That's the company that she is the CEO of. Right? But before then, she qualified as a medical doctor from what we used to call Medunsa. It's now called Sefako Makgato University. And she spent almost 10 years in the pharmaceutical industry in a company called Roche, looking after the sub-Saharan, African market as a medical director. So that's a senior position within a pharmaceutical industry. And so she is actually a pharmaceutical expert over and above being a medical doctor. But she was not happy with just that. She decided, no, she must go back and add business management skills. And so she enrolled at the Gibbs, business school, where she qualified with a master's in business administration. And she'll tell us more about how she conceived the whole idea of her company whilst, doing her MBA. All right. So in her business, she focuses on research and development, manufacturing, and the marketing of the products. And her products are science-driven skincare solutions for Africans. So when we talk about, for us, by us, she decided she's going to create products for the African market because she realized that most of the products, especially premium products that are being, sold in this market, most of them are actually for the European market. Now, about her products, I've told you about the African Dermal Science, which is the company, but she actually, through the company, they own the USO skincare products. All right, the USO skincare products, and we're going to hear a lot from her. But these are advanced skincare products or range, that's aimed at addressing the specific skincare needs for Africans. It targets the ethnic market and everyone living under the harsh African climate. And so, I am looking forward to this discussion. She's going to tell us this love for things that make other people beautiful. Where did it start? Where did it start? I know she had hinted to me something to do with her mom, but she has to share it again today.
Yes.
Some of those influences from childhood can actually, align you with your purpose. So we will hear about that.
Yes.
But anyway,
Yes.
Dr. Motheo-Frendo, welcome to the Dr. Fundi platform. We're supposed to have met last week, but in God's timing, we are here today.
Yes, indeed.
It's directed by God. That's why it's happening today. And I think we're going to have a very lovely conversation about yourself, but also about the good work you are doing. I'm featuring you today not as a medical doctor. I'm featuring you today as an entrepreneur who has identified a market, linked that market, or that gap, to your passion and everything else. And yeah, so I want the rest of the world to actually know, about the great things that you are doing. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I look forward to our conversation.
Yeah. And it's going to be an easy conversation. We've got lots of people who, are looking forward to listening to you. And at some point later in the program, I'll ask some of the viewers, especially those who have used your products, to give us testimony of what have they experienced with your products. All right. And we may just have something to, to share with them depending on the strength of their testimony. All right.
Indeed.
All right. So it's not an automatic that you'll get something here. We're talking premium products here, so we won't just give, that to anybody. It really has to be something that adds a lot of value, to the brand. All right, Doc, let's start. You come from Soshanguve in Pretoria.
Yes.
Now, is it true that that name Soshanguve was actually just, a name that the Boers came up with? So for Sutu, Sha is for Shangan, Gu for Nguni, Be for Benda, and they just put all of those things together and came up with the name of the township.
I'm not too sure about the origins of the name, but what you've described is exactly what the name Soshanguve stands for. It's an acronym for all the four kind of like groups, ethnic or groups in South Africa that live in Soshanguve, a very diverse community. And I think growing up in a location like that, with people from such different Shangan, Nguni, Venda, I think it adds something to an individual's journey through life, in how we perceive our life, how we go through life, how we face challenges, growing up in such a diverse community. And also you also get to, be able to learn a lot of languages. So, that's been quite helpful throughout my life. Yeah.
Yes, I was about to ask you, how many languages can you speak? I'm not talking about English and Afrikaans and French, just the South African languages that you can speak from the township.
I understand and can converse in almost all of them except for Shangan and Venda.
Okay.
So those are the two that I was not exposed to, but everything else, I'm quite comfortable. I can have a decent conversation. When I was at university at Medunsa, I was then also exposed to the Xhosa language and and learned that from friends at university. So and I think understanding
All right.
So yes.
So you are a Soshanguve, born and bred in Pitoli. Now, people from Asheville, they've got a certain lingo, some Pitori lingo. Is it does that language also
common.
gets to be used in social?
Yes, indeed. It's common across the main three townships of Pretoria, which are Soshanguve, Mamelodi, and Atteridgeville. So if you're from Pretoria, you will understand the Pretoria lingo and the language that we use when conversing, which is kind of like a mix as well of different South African languages, kind of like form some common language amongst all the different ethnic groups.
Yeah, and there's a strong Afrikaans feel as well, with diamond and in all of that. All right.
Yes, indeed.
So, but just before we talk about early influences from a community, what kind of family do you come from? Firstborn, lastborn, middle child, only girl.
No, I come. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I come from I guess in South African terms, a relatively small family of four. It's my parents who are still with us. My parents, as well as my older brother. So I'm the last born of two. But also I have been raised in a community of extended family. I have huge extended family on both my maternal and paternal side. My father is from an area called Hammanskraal, which is just north of Pretoria, and he was the firstborn of about 10 children. And my mother is the middle child. There were four of them, and she's from a village just outside Rustenburg, just next to Sun City, called Muruleng. So a small nuclear family, but really surrounded by a large extended family. I think I have about 40 cousins. So it's always a joy to be with family and a big party.
So small nuclear family, but actually in reality, big family.
Yes. Right. Exactly.
So, your mom and dad, obviously, they're still alive, both of them. Who amongst them would you say has had greatest influence in terms of your outlook to life, your value system, or both of them have contributed equally?
I think both of them have contributed somehow. I think my mom was a school teacher and principal, and she taught English, and I guess she contributed my love for reading, and quite focused on academics, quite focused on skincare.
Wow. Tell us about that, because clearly
it comes from my mom. So my mom is for as far as I can remember, she has always been obsessed about skincare, obsessed going through the brands back then. The key ones were the likes of Clinique when I was in my teens, that I was introduced to by her, and started my skincare journey and love and fascination about products and the different formulations and the science behind skincare. And so that's pretty much where all of this was triggered in my teenage years. My dad is, has always been an entrepreneur, in various forms of business with his father, my grandfather. So I guess that also put another influence into my life and exposure from an early age of running businesses and hustling and just pushing and never giving up. So that's what I'm saying. Both my parents contributed to the person I am. I have a lot of influences, and a lot of my extended family. I have a lot more aunts than males. There's more women in my family, and all of us were a family of skincare lovers, and there'll hardly be a get together without us talking. So what product are you using in your skin? What product are you using in your skin? So there was a common conversation, in my family and extended family, and I guess that had an everlasting, based on where I am now and the business that I'm running, on my life. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I guess they've all been converted to USO now.
Oh, yes, I should hope so. Yes. So some of them took part in our trials and in our testing phases, and provide input and referrals, and I think for me it's it gives me great joy to see that happening, in that the entire families understanding and getting on board in terms of what we're trying to achieve, in creating what I would like to refer to as a legacy business. Hopefully be around for generations to come, and attached to our family names.
Okay, all right, let's go back, because we're gonna end up talking more around USO and the product and everything, but I'm still just taking people on the journey of you growing up in Soshanguve, your dad bringing that entrepreneurial flair, and your mom bringing the love for beauty stuff, and you've actually then taken from both of them to what you are doing today. But when you were still in school, what did you want to be, and what kind of a child were you?
What kind of a child was I? Quite introverted, actually, funny enough. Quite introverted. I was very much into my books. I probably was like last man standing, going to the library to go borrow books from the library. Quite enjoyed that. I had an interest in a vast, array of things. I've always been interested in the sciences, but I've also been interested in business. I actually now during the lockdown, I was just tidying up things, and I found boxes of scrapbooks that I used to make to capture memories, and I saw that in high school, I did the science subjects, but I also did business economics that I excelled in. So kind of like I guess you choose things in your earlier life, and sometimes that doesn't really make sense, of this person who's decided that they're going to study medicine, but now they also want to do business economics as well as a matric subject. So I had an interest in that. An interest in a lot of creative. I'm kind of like I love creating things. I have an interest in fashion design, and interest in using my hands and creating stuff. I like to create things. In some way or the other.
And so at what point did you say, I actually want to pursue medicine, in the midst of all of these influences, entrepreneurial, you doing business economics, and all the artistic stuff that you're doing, and you spending a lot of time in the library, not playing with the other kids? At what point did you say, okay, actually, I think when I grow up, I want to be a doctor?
Well, I mean, this is in the 90s, and if you were around, you can identify. I think exposure to different careers played a role at that period in time. If you were able to get into medical school, that's what you would do. If you enjoyed the subject matters, you would think about becoming a doctor. Which I enjoyed. I love medicine. I loved, and people always ask me, and we can talk about that. Why did you stop being a clinician? I love healthcare, and I love the science of the science of medicine. But I guess that with time, we can talk about that later, as you say. Other aspects of my abilities, I needed to nurture those and grow those as well.
Okay, all right. So where did you do your high school?
I did my high school, the latter part. I matriculated at school called Granville High School. It's in Rustenburg. It's a boarding school in Rustenburg, just in Rustenburg town. I enjoy being at boarding school. I like that because I didn't like waking up early to drive to catch the taxi and drive to town to go to school. So I preferred to be in boarding school. So I was in boarding school in Rustenburg, and then after that I went to Medunsa.
All right. What do you say were highlights, or things that you learned you learned, by being independent at a boarding school, not, being in the same place with your parents?
I think it's exactly that. It's independence. It's independence in how I live day-to-day life, my day-to-day life, but obviously not only informed by the value systems that I learned from my parents when I was younger, before high school, to make my own decisions. I always talk about how our life is the sum total of micro decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis, on a minute-to-minute basis. For me as well, that exposure, I guess, gave me, and being in a diverse environment, gave me exposure to other cultures, other ways of lives, other value systems from other children that were with at school. And in an early age, you have to make a judgment call about, okay, these are the things that I like, these are the things that I do not like, and this is where the direction I want to take with my life. So I think,
All right. So, how are your results? I mean, you got admitted in medicine. I would assume that you were quite a bright spark at high school. You got some good marks.
No, I guess so.
Okay.
I guess I can say the same with you.
All right. Yeah. But so, okay. And so you applied, you wanted to do medicine. Did you just apply to Medunsa, or you said Wits, Medunsa, UCT, Natal, and I'll see who's going to pick me up?
I applied at all the medical schools, and then I decided to stay at home. I think a part of me, having gone to boarding school, for most of the years before, I kind of wanted to be closer. I didn't stay with my parents when I was in university, but I was in the same city. So then I ended up at Medunsa, and which was an incredible time where I met incredible people that are now colleagues and friends. Yes.
All right. So you spent your 6 years at medical school. Again, I'll ask you the same question. What kind of student were you? Other people get confused. They get to medical school or tertiary. There's so much freedom. They do this, they do that, and sometimes the books suffer. Were you one of those very focused, medical students?
I had to be. I think medicine is a 6-year journey. I didn't want to spend an extra year there. I was eager to get out at some point into the world and start living. Studying medicine, takes over your entire life. So for me, it was important that I finished at the prescribed time frame, and I achieve what I came there to achieve. So I think I was a balanced student. That was focused on academics. I was definitely focused on academics.
Okay, beautiful. So by the time you were doing medicine, you get exposed obviously to different disciplines, internal medicine, gynecology, psychiatry, pediatrics, and all of that. Did you have, or even dermatology? So during your time there as an undergrad student, was there any particular discipline of medicine that you fell in love with?
I actually I liked I quite enjoyed the surgical disciplines, being in theater, but I also enjoyed dermatology. At some point I thought I'd go back to school and study to be a dermatologist, but I decided against that and rather focus on pharmaceuticals and creating products to introduce into market. So I quite enjoyed theater, in surgical disciplines, and dermatology. But I guess my first love is business, in the healthcare business.
Yeah. So normally you come out of medical school. The usual thing is you do your internship. Others, they go and become GPs. or they come back, they go and become registrars and train to become specialists. So you never had that confusion. When you just did your internship and your community service, what did you do?
Yes, I did my internship. I did my community service.
Yeah.
I did my internship at what is now called Steve Biko, in tertiary hospital in Pretoria. And then I did my community service at Leratong Hospital in the West Rand, Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And then after that, I wanted to go work in the community that I grew up in. So I worked for about 3 years in Soshanguve, at a community hospital there. I worked there as a senior medical officer. And then that's when I decided to switch gears and enter the world of business. And I remember my first corporate stint was with a local firm, with Clinics Healthcare Group. I worked with Clinics Healthcare Group, and I used to run their ambulance service, before I joined the pharmaceutical industry. And for me, what I wanted to achieve, thinking about my journey throughout my career, what I've always wanted was to develop an organization. That has always been clear to me, that at some point I will want to start an organization that will create solutions for our specific needs. Obviously, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I didn't know exactly where I would, which products I would create first. And so when I joining the pharmaceutical industry I think for me, it was intentional. I wanted to understand how these products get onto the pharmacist's shelf or the beauty shelf. So it was an intentional move to understand that.
The whole value chain from raw materials all the way to finished products. And so
to finished products, yes. Did I manage? Yes, I did.
To have exposure in all of those?
To exposure in most of the areas, yes. I think my colleagues at Roche used to think every 2 years I'm moving to a new department. So, and for me, it was important for me to understand as much as I could from the research and development phases to the clinical trials, that we conduct, amongst humans, to understand what, our population in Africa, to understand how products are launched, to understand the safety aspects of products, to understand how products are maintained, and also to understand the entire value chain, and also things like pricing of products, health economics, and so forth. So I went through all of those departments, marketing as well, at when I was in pharmaceuticals. And for me, it was, I guess, the lessons that I wanted to go through, that would give me the confidence to say, well, now I'm ready to create a solution for X, Y, and Z problem.
All right. So you were clearly a medic on a mission, learning as much as you could during the time that you were with Roche. So, I mean, that being a company, is it a European company or is it a US company now, Roche?
No, it's a European company. It's a Swiss company.
All right. So I guess then you also must have spent some time in Europe during your time there.
Not extended time. We used to travel a lot, to meetings and so forth, and there was really great exposure. I think it contributed a lot to my mindset development, and outlook of life.
So having spent that 10 years in various areas of the pharmaceutical industry, but you still found it necessary to enroll for an MBA degree.
Yes, you can never stop learning.
Help us understand that decision.
I'm a firm believer that we can never stop learning. And we must never stop learning. And we must be you must be able to understand the skills that you have, and you must be able to also appreciate the shortcomings that you might have. That could be a setback for you in the future. So what I wanted to do was to get more exposure in the finance kind of like disciplines, more exposure in things, human resources, operations, essentially how to run a business, how to start and run a business. And that's what I went to GIBS to do, as I was, and this happened kind of like in parallel to when I started the company. So I started the company as I was doing the MBA. So it gave me an opportunity to shape, I guess, this organization using my learnings from university. Mm-hmm.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So you were basically just refining those business management and business leadership skills and entrepreneurial skills, obviously. And you started, creating your business. So you were actually a consultant to your new business whilst you were at business school.
Exactly. Yes. I was a consultant. I mean, obviously I had brought in quite a number of people to collaborate and assist us in formulation of the product and in conceptualizing how the brand is going to look like, what exactly are we going to be focusing on, experts in other fields that I'm not a particular expert in, so yeah, but I guess you can say I was a consultant in my own business, and I tried to apply all my learnings during business school to the development of this company.
But can you just share a little bit, with us, just the type of skills that surrounded you? Because I love the idea of saying, I'm very strong here, but there are areas where I need to be strengthened, because successful people do that.
Yeah.
You know where you're strong, and you know where you need to be beefed up, and collectively, then you work on producing something. So just at a high level, I don't want you to go to town about it.
Yeah. So firstly, formulating products is, it's a super specialty that requires in the business that we're in now, which is skincare. There is what we call cosmetic scientists that actually went to university to become actual cosmetic scientists, and they are formulators of the product. So I partnered with a cosmetic scientist to help us formulate this product and ensure that the actual formulation, what's inside the bottle, based on all the research that we had done, and I had particularly done on African skin concerns, on availability of specific ingredients, and how specific ingredients actually treat us as Africans. So we partnered so that the product can be formulated, refined, ensure its safety and its efficacy. So that was a key partnership as a cosmetic scientist. And then secondly, it's on the marketing side. It's all good to develop a great product, but if the market doesn't identify with it, then there's no point. So for me, it was very important that I partner with people that are experts in that field of developing a brand. Things like, what are you going to call it? What's the name? What does it mean? How is it going to land? How is the packaging going to look like? And it was quite a long process. It took us about 3 years to develop this range and get it into market. And a lot of it entailed a lot of research and talking to local people.
But
So,
I mean, looking at your product is obviously a premium product, right?
We actually call it, we refer to it as accessible premium. It's not
Yeah.
that it's not unattainable,
Yeah.
it's affordable. It's affordable
Okay.
versus all the international brands that are in the market. It's accessible premium.
Yes, but I think the point I wanted to make though is that the product itself, it can stand toe to toe to any top brand, that is from Europe or anywhere else in terms of the quality, right? But anyway, I'm saying that because I'm a user of your products, but I've got
Yes.
other people that I've invited to join a little later to just give testimony about how
Oh,
your product,
fantastic.
has actually made a difference to their skins. So, but when you getting into a market, I mean, obviously you do your studies and say who is in this market that I'm targeting, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what can I exploit so that when my product comes into the market, there's traction. So, what would you say is that one thing that differentiates your products, your product range to anything that is out there in the market?
The main differentiation is that our product is focused on resolving the skincare concerns of Africans.
Yes.
And these concerns are unique to Africans. What we see is that most retailers, what's on the shelves is dominated by international brands that are formulated, researched and developed for a European or American market, which is majority Caucasian. And these products are then brought into our country, they're on the shelves, but they're not addressing our specific concerns or the climate that we live in. So what we have done is that we have created a product that is specifically for us, specifically developed by us right here on the African continent. And for us, that's the key differentiator that we have in a market that's highly dominated by foreign brands.
Yes. All right. And so when did you get into the market then now with your products?
So we launched in December 2017. We launched in December 2017, and through a pop-up in Sandton City and online with a small online offering. But I guess the bigger launch, which is more national, was through stores when we launched in December 2018, so a year into market, and that was a huge milestone for us. For a brand, a new company, that doesn't have a mother brand, to be able to get onto the shelves, shoulder to shoulder with brands that we grew up with, Clarins, Clinique, and we are in the same store, on the same floor, on the same shelves with them. So that was really a great milestone. So that was in 2018 when we rolled out throughout the country, as well as in Namibia and Botswana.
So before you had that, relationship with Edgar's, which is obviously, a good distribution, channel for you, or which was, you did some work, through the online platforms, right? And the pop-up stores. You gained great experience on selling and distributing using online. But I'm gonna come back to that when we talk about the COVID-19, period. What lessons did you learn then, which became useful now when the other shops, and everything were closed, Yeah, but anyway, so how long did you guys take from the first time you launched your products to the time where you had this deal with Edgar's, and what did it mean to you?
So we launched into Edgar's a year after we first launched. So the first time we introduced the product into the market, on our first year anniversary, that's when we launched into Edgar's. Was absolutely fantastic, but it actually took us about 20 months to launch into Edgar's, to actually get onto the shelves of Edgar's, because a lot of convincing, a lot of pitching took place over the 20-month period. So we started talking to them before we even we even launched into the market, before we even had a final product. And why was it so important for us as a company to get this brand into a retailer like Edgar's was that we felt that if we were to want to compete with international brands that are dominating our market, we have to be available in the same stores as them, because the customer is not going to go to a new store. They will continue to go and buy where they used to buying their skincare from a retailer that they trust. They trust that if a brand is in that retailer, it's of a certain level of quality, of safety, and of efficacy. So for us, it was, something, that was very, very important for us to achieve. And when it happened, it was really, well, all of us were elated, obviously, to be able to, as a team, to achieve something like that is, so yeah, so it's a moment I'll forever remember.
Now, I invited you as an entrepreneur here, so I will also just ask questions, relating to entrepreneurship. You formulate your business concept, you get it ready, and then you have to produce the products, you have to do this and do that, and finances, it's not something that everybody is born with, a huge inheritance. Just do those kind of things. So how challenging was it to actually raise the necessary, funding, to make sure that your dream comes true?
Fundraising
other people,
is
sorry to interject, Doc. Other people, would look at, okay, I'm gonna go to the bank, and make a big loan. Other people will say, you know what, I'll sell a bit of my shareholding and get some seed capital. Other people will say, you know what, I can talk to family and friends that I trust and raise them. So for you, which model of fundraising? Because this is one area that normally kills, ideas from entrepreneurs, the inability to raise the necessary finances to get whatever that they want to do. So I just want those people who are thinking of venturing into entrepreneurship to learn something from you as well.
For us, like every other business, the first port of call was family. Family. It was family that backed up, and what happens when your family has seen your journey and they believe that this business that you're trying to build, that you're capable and that you're committed to it. No one's going to invest in a business that where the founder is not committed or capable of. So I think that's the one thing. It's family. I strongly believe that fundraising is a never-ending thing. This firm continues to fundraise all the time. You never stop. you never stop to fundraise. So it's the same with us. We continue to fundraise. I think now in terms of resources required to start a business, now we live in a digital era, and that has I think kind of like reduced a lot of the costs of running business, because you can automate a lot of things, you can digitize a lot of functions, and so to anyone out there who's looking for funding, it's very difficult to raise funding in South Africa. And it's especially difficult as well to raise funding as a woman. We know that, I've actually just read a report the other day that says that Sub-Saharan Africa has the highest entrepreneurial activity, women entrepreneurial activity in the world. But those women-owned businesses receive only a fraction of funding versus male-owned businesses. various reasons were mentioned in this report. But fundraising is very difficult, and very difficult on this continent. It's not like in the US where we just see companies just managing to raise every other day lots of money, and so here it really is. And I think for most people, friends, family, banks are first point of call, and then obviously you continue pitching to the institutions, and you must never stop. You must never stop, because like us, we're hopeful that one day we'll be able to
list on the JSE.
Hopefully, yes.
All right, Doc. Let's go back now to your products, because I think this is one area now. So you decided you're gonna come up with USO. Just tell people what USO means. The name of your product.
So USO, as Dr. Fundile said at the beginning, so USO is a skincare range. So it's an anti-aging facial care range for your face, to ensure that you maintain your youthful look, more even skin tone. And the word USO is derived from the Zulu word ubuso, which means face. And we chose, and also in Swahili words, in Swahili, face is uso, and we were intentional about choosing a word like that, a name like that. We wanted a name with an African feel to it, an African meaning, as a celebration of us as Africans, that amongst all these international brands, we're going to be on, kind of like playing in that field, we need to be to stand out as an African brand, an African brand that we're taking to the world. So that's what USO means.
Lovely. So now when you came up with these products, there was number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I want you. Do you have them next to you, please? I hope you have them.
Yes, I have most of them.
I want people to understand what number 1 is for, number 2 is for, number 3 is for, number 4 is for, number 5, and number 6.
So before I get into that, I think it's quite important for people to understand kind of like the skin problems that we're trying to solve, that are specific for Africans. So in our research, we identified 4 main skin concerns that most Africans complain about. The first one is around uneven skin tone and hyperpigmentation. That is generally a factor of the strong sun exposure that we have almost throughout the year, as well as the melanin in the skin. So a combination of that, a lot of people struggle with uneven skin tone and hyperpigmentation. So that's the first skin concern we're trying to resolve. The second one was around dry skin, particularly people living in the high-filled areas of South Africa. Most of South Africa is very dry, and in the winter months in particular, people struggle with dry, dehydrated and dull skin. The third problem that we're resolving is around oily skin, excessively oily skin, and that is very common amongst Africans. And we know research that most people, the darker you are, the more melanin you have in your skin, the more likely you will have oily skin. And the last one was around sun protection, which is something that's very important to resolving the first issue around uneven skin tone and hyperpigmentation. And Africans say they wear sunscreen because most sunscreens in the market make them look like ghosts. So that's what we developed the range for. So our range, there's 6 products. The products are numbered, and there's a reason why the products are numbered is so that it's ease of use. People can find it easy to use. They don't need to remember. So they're numbered from 1. I've got them in front of me here. You can see 1 to 6, and then there's also amongst the creams, there's black creams, and then there's white creams. So the black ones are the ones we recommend for nighttime use, and the white one is the one you use for during the day that has sun protection. So that is the range in essentially, and it's only 6 products, and that was and the reason for making it smaller is that we wanted to encourage consistency. Most consumers, when they are faced with too many options and too many products on their shelf, become confused, and then they are not consistent. So when you have a simple system like this, and it's easy to follow, you don't get confused, you're consistent, and then you derive the maximum benefits on your skin when you are consistent with the use of products.
All right. So would I be right to say number one, it's like a cleanser?
Yes. Okay, you want me to go? Okay, so yes, so that number one is our cleanser. So the range is a cosmeceutical range. So that means that it's advanced skincare. So it goes beyond just the surface of the skin. It actually changes the physiology of your skin cells. And all the products are treatment products to address those 4 concerns that I spoke about. So the first one is your cleanser, where you will cleanse your skin morning and night. And then you will follow with what we call an essence. Oh, you want me to go? I don't know how much time. I'm watching the time.
No, don't worry.
How much time do we have?
Yeah, no,
okay.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm also giving my own testimony, right? So you just need a little bit of that, this product. You just put a little bit, but that cleanser will actually do the job. You don't need to put much.
Yes.
So it lasts longer.
Yes.
Right?
No, absolutely. So so the cleanser as well is what we call a treatment cleanser, an active cleanser. So it doesn't just cleanse your face; it also hydrates your skin. It also gives your skin glow because it's got vitamin C.
Yeah.
And then the second product in our range is our essence, which is the O2. So what it is that it's a combination of a toner and a serum, and it is a new generation products. These are products that are replacing the old type of toners. It's got no alcohol. It leaves your skin supple, hydrated, glowing, radiant, and that's those 2 you will use morning and night. You'll cleanse and then put your essence on, and then during the day you then follow with our award-winning day cream. So this is kind of like our pride and joy, the active day cream with SPF 30, and what it promises and delivers is that it will not leave your skin any gray, any white film, any excessive oiliness, regardless of your complexion. So it's award-winning. It won at the South African Cosmetics and Fragrance Awards, 2 award recognitions. And for us as a young company, this was really a proud moment, because here we are just 2 years or so in the market, and we are being getting award recognitions alongside iconic brands like Environ and Plastical. So this, so that's our day cream.
Let me stop
for the nighttime, obviously, you will.
Let me stop you there. Since I know your product, I need to. When you miss something, I must bring it in, right? So, in that product number 3, you have got
number 5,
right?
Number 5,
right?
Yes.
SPF 30. Now, people always hear that, no, you must use the highest SPF possible. So why did you go for SPF 30 and not SPF 50 in that product? I know
in this product.
You told me, but I'm just for the benefit of the consumers. Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, it's just understanding what SPF means. SPF means the amount of time that you need to be in the sun for your skin to be burned. It's unlikely that someone spends time sufficient enough to be in the sun to require an SPF 50. That's the first thing. Most of us live in the city. We're not spending 8 hours in direct sunlight. That's the first one. And secondly, the higher you go with your SPF, like your SPF 50, in the science of the formulation, it becomes quite difficult to make sure that any complexion doesn't become gray. And so when you weigh that risk of leaving a gray film versus the benefit that you get in terms of sun protection, it doesn't make any sense, because there's only about a 1% protection difference between an SPF 30 and an SPF 50. So for 1% more coverage, are you willing to look gray? That's the question you must ask yourself when you're deciding between an SPF 30 and a 50. So that's our day cream. And then other questions that yes, sorry.
Yeah, no, you can continue, Doc.
Yeah. Other questions specific to African skin, Africans will always say, no, but today I'm not going out. It's locked down. I'm working at home. It's not, there's no sun. It's raining. No, I'm not wearing sunscreen. And we say, no, you have to wear your sunscreen every single day. Whether the sun is out, because as long as there's daylight, the sun is out there. It's just hidden behind the clouds. And therefore the UV rays still penetrate through. They still penetrate through the windows of your house, or wherever you're sitting, and in the patio, right through, and can damage your skin. So you have to wear your sunscreen every single day. And also, secondly, which is becoming more and more important, as we're seeing more research come out, is about exposure of what we call blue light, which is said to cause as much damage to the skin as your UV light from the sun. So blue light is the rays that are emitted from my electronic devices, your iPad, your computers. Now I've got two devices in front of me, so all of these lights are coming to my face. So it's important that you actually protect your skin against that as well. So it's important to wear your sunscreen every single day.
Yeah. All right, lovely.
Right.
Lovely.
So that was so that's in the morning. So in the evening, you'll wash your skin, obviously with the cleanser, and then follow with your essence. And then we follow with, so the skin at nighttime is the perfect time. When the body rests, that's when the skin actually becomes more active and more perceptive to active ingredients. So this is when you want to really maximize anti-aging, drive anti-aging routines. So the first one here that I'll talk about is our O3 targeted uneven skin tone treatment. And targeted uneven skin tone treatment because it actually goes to the skin cells that whose melanocytes. So the melanocytes are the cells that produce the pigment of melanin that produces the darkness and the patches in your skin. So it only goes to the cells where the melanocytes are hyperactive.
Yeah.
And that was very important for us as an African company, because what we're trying to do is to ensure that we treat the uneven skin tone, but we do not want to change your natural complexion to what nature didn't intend it to be. So a very safe product to treat uneven skin tone. So that's the third one. It's a serum. You apply it at night. So that's a targeted cream. And then you follow with what we call a global anti-aging. And every single person, I would say, must use an anti-aging product. So an anti-aging night, this one is our active anti-aging serum, number 04. So it's black, it's for night, so you use it at night. So this is the product that actually then kickstarts your skin's metabolism. So to make sure your skin is alive. So remember, when you're 20 years old, your skin is regenerating every 28 days. The older you grow, the slower the cells work. They become sluggish. Yeah. So at nighttime is the right time to kind of like kickstart the skin cells metabolism, to hydrate, to plump your skin, to keep the fine lines and wrinkles at bay. So that's our 04.
Okay.
And then the last product in our line, for now, we'll be launching, hopefully, others soon when we have funding, is our very popular mist, and 06 product, which is our active. I'm very surprised you're saying yes, because a lot of males are like, mist? No.
No.
So it's a mist.
I'm what they sometimes call a metrosexual or ubersexual guy.
Yes.
So I don't mind doing the things that make people beautiful.
Yeah. So this is our active all day mist. And then this product is great for topping up hydration during the day. Most of us, particularly in the winter, by the time it hits midday, lunchtime, you're starting to feel that your skin is a little bit tight on the cheeks and the forehead. And this is when this comes in. So you can just spritz it on your face at any time. You keep it in your handbag at your desk. just to replenish the hydration of your skin, to infuse your skin with more active ingredients that boost the skin's glow, and nourishing at any time of the day. So yeah, so a very yeah. Yes.
Right. Now I'm happy. You've detailed, you know, this is the time for me now to ask people to come in. Okay. All right. All of our viewers, those who have used the products, I want them to write on the Facebook thing and just share their, you know, their experience of the product. And if we like what you say, we might just, give you something. All right. So this is for people who have used the product. All right. So Nwabisa is my support staff, so don't worry about her, Dr. Theo, because she's gonna be reading, the Facebook thing on my site to see, and maybe share that with you, because I think what's important is not only to just talk, but to also hear from those who have used the product. All right. And there's one or two other people who might just join. So it's important. Now, I think people can then put their feedback on the Facebook page, even with Dr. Theo's Facebook page, but I don't know if you'll be able to read the messages.
I don't know if
because I think it's important.
I'm going to try.
To have that testimony on my side. Nwabisa is going to help me. There's actually somebody who is using your products. I hope she will come in. The Speaker of the City Council of Johannesburg. All right. Hopefully she will come in. She wants to tell you virtually face to face, how your products have actually added value, in terms of your skincare. And I mean, to have somebody at that level, with so many other people who look up to her, that's a good one. So I hope she will come. There's another gentleman who also said, being a gentleman, but he's still proud enough to actually give testimony about, how your product is actually sorted.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm trying to see if I can see them.
No, they are not in yet. They are not in.
Okay.
Yet. Yeah. So, but anyway, Doc, it's been now, 2 years since you started with Edgar's. All right. It's been about 2 years. How have things gone as an entrepreneur now, as a business? The products are solid.
Yeah. I mean, I think we anticipated the first year. We focused really on getting to understand operating on such a scale and a platform. I think being in a major retailer, department store across the country, obviously there's a lot of things, particularly around logistics, that we had to focus on in the first year and make sure that before too much noise is made, we make too much noise, we actually have sorted out our channels and our deliveries and our processes. Right.
Right. All right. There's somebody has just put in a question here. Bulela Gwangwa, are you saying all days of our lives we must wear our sunscreen?
Yes.
Okay. No, that's the question. Yeah.
So two things for anti-aging, if you want to have good skin and age well. It's sunscreen and hydration inside and out. Make sure your skin is hydrated and make sure you drink your water and keep quiet. Lovely. All right. So people can send in questions, on Facebook. On your side, Doc, is there any comment or question? I think I just want to continue or make a comment about what you're talking about tennies and those are so important for us as local businesses who are trying to make a difference, and we so much, and there's nothing that gives us joy more than seeing a testimony come through on email or social media and just giving feedback, giving criticism to help us improve, because if we don't know, then we'll never be able to fix it. So just from our side, we appreciate that, and we appreciate the testimonies. And
I work with this guy, but he was determined that he wants to talk to you directly. So please,
yes,
Tara,
hi.
his name is Tara.
Hi.
Right. Tara, you can say what you want to say to Dr. Theo.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, how are you, Tara?
Good, yourself?
Good.
Yeah, your products have been a lifesaver during this period for me.
Oh, fantastic.
In fact, I was introduced to the product by the good old doctor. And I think I generally suffer from a combination skin, so it tends to be dry early on in the day. And then as the day progresses, the forehead and the nose part then start to oil up a bit. So I then started to get the products, because he's got a very good eye at detail in terms of looking and observing things. So he said, I think I need to introduce you to some product, that I think you'll probably enjoy. So he brought me into the project. This is probably now last year sometime. So now I'll fast forward to just about this year. So I've been using the product, particularly the day creams, and the, with us men, we struggle to get used to these routines that ladies find easy to do.
Yeah.
So I'm a survivor of COVID, and through that period, I noticed that I was actually feeling dehydrated a lot, and my skin started to peel off. It was kind of dry. So the normal products that I would use, because I ran out of the cream, which is number 5, so I realized that they can't withstand the demands of, the skin. And as such, I then thought, okay, let me revert back to, using number 1 to wash my face, using number 2 to, moisturize, and stuff.
Yes.
In fact, today I've just used 1 and 2. But what I wanted to find out first and foremost is, Doc, how do I make sure I use the products the way they are intended? Because, for example, if you take number 1, the face wash, right? You gently rub your face with it and then rinse with warm water. How long must it stay on before I can say it's now been absorbed by my skin, properly or so?
Yes. No, I love the question, and I love the involvement of males in all things anti-aging. So yes, for cleansers, definitely.
Indeed.
Our cleansers an active cleanser, so it's got active ingredients, and you need to give it time to allow the active ingredients to do their work on your skin as you're massaging it into your skin with warm water. So the recommended practice is, we call it the 20-second rule, is that you have to make sure that it's on your skin for at least 20 seconds. So for at least 20 seconds, you massage and give the cleanser's active ingredients to do their work. So that's a good question.
All right. No,
but
thank
I
you.
can see your skin is looking good. I'm happy.
No. How do the young ones do it, Doc? Indeed. I mean, I feel good.
Exactly.
I think I'm not feeling the effects of what I normally feel when I use normal products.
Well, we're glad you're in good health now. Eh?
Yeah.
Thank you. Last question, Doc. A quick one now on distribution. Sorry, Dr. Nyati.
Yeah.
On distribution, you for the most part using Edgar's to distribute the product, right? In a manner where you are actually with Edgar's and its challenges coming through now, where else do the products become available?
So obviously, COVID-19 and the lockdown period brought challenges to many businesses. And as you remember, most of the department stores were, forced to close for a couple of weeks, for about 5 weeks at the beginning of lockdown. So what we did is that we managed to, so we're driving our business on our e-commerce platform, which is uso.africa. So that's where essentially most customers get their products is on e-commerce, on the online store, and I think it's, we were kind of like late versus other countries in adopting online and being comfortable with it. But I guess this lockdown period and COVID has forced most people to get used to it quickly. So we're seeing very nice uptake in their channel, and customers are more comfortable you know, testimonies of people that are purchasing online are helping because, you know, they can see that, okay, you've brought the products then and they actually arrived and, you know, and they're actually working for the skin. Yeah. So, yeah. So
Lovely.
thank you for the testimony. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll try the online platform, Doc. I need number 5 tomorrow.
All right. No, there's Dr. Theo.
Yes.
Take a Lot is also another online platform where people can get your products, right?
Yes. There's several actually. Yes. So there's our platform, uso.africa. And then we're also on Take a Lot, which a lot of people find convenient because they can buy other things as well at the same time. And we're also on 2 other platforms, online platforms. One is called local online platforms. One is called Beauty on Tap, which is an African women-owned a beauty marketplace where they sell everything beauty from hair care to skincare. So we're on that. It's called Beauty on Tap. And we're also on another online platform by a lady called Olwetu Leshabane. It's called The Art of Superwoman. Yeah, where the website, the shop is focused on making women superwomen. So we're also on that platform. So we're on several, and and we continue to try to increase our retail channels to reach as many people and make it as easy as possible for people to get access to our products. Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, I'll listen online.
Okay. Thank you, Tara. Doc, there is a question here from a lady called Ntsiki Gumbe. What is your view on pills and masks to treat hyperpigmentation? So, what's the view on pills and masks to treat hyperpigmentation?
I think would have to be quite specific because there's so much variety. Pills, as in like tablets, or you mean pills?
No, pills.
Pills. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Got you. Yes. So hyperpigmentation is actually one of the most difficult skin concerns to manage, and that's why we always encourage early intervention. So you shouldn't let it become worse. So early intervention as well as preventative measures, which include sunscreen, as introducing those quite early in life. So pills, masks are some of the in-salon procedures that one can do to manage hyperpigmentation. So I think it's the right thing to do. Depending on the peel, there's peels that we know whose active ingredients will improve the skin, and then there's some peels where which can worsen hyperpigmentation, and all of these must be done by a professional, because the last thing you want when you have hyperpigmentation is to irritate the skin, because any excessive irritation of the skin is actually going to make the hyperpigmentation worse. Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Yeah, so I think what's important is to just make sure that you go to a credible skincare professional who's experienced in what they're doing.
Lovely, Doc. All right, there's somebody, but I think you've answered that question, who was asking, this lady said, I am interested in the products, where can I get them? But you've already addressed that, via Edgar's or via the numerous platforms, online platforms, from Take a Lot to the uso.africa, and the other, platforms. So I think Take a Lot and uso.com would be the ideal thing. And in terms of, you actually deliver those things, you post them or courier them or stuff.
Yes, we courier them. Nationwide. Mm-hmm.
All right, lovely.
Yes.
So your products, have already been recognized, like you've already mentioned, within a year of them being in the market. I mean, CNBC had already featured you, and other magazines like Elle and Destiny. That recognition, what did it do for you, or for the business?
I think think obviously being featured in the correct media channels brings brand awareness, and really that's one of the most important aspects for a young company and brand is getting our brand out there, people to know. And so we appreciate that as much as we appreciate being on platforms such as yours right now, Dr. Fundi Lenyachi's platform. The more we can, we get the chance to tell this brand, to introduce products to people. And we're grateful for that. So I think, so for us, that's what it means. For me personally, I was just happy to share, if the article was about my journey personally, I'm happy to share my journey and my learnings in life as a way to inspire whoever can be inspired by my journey.
Yeah. Now we are in the Women's Month, obviously, and we are showcasing women like you who are actually doing great things. But we normally talk about the lift as you rise. So as Dr. Theo, as African Dermal Science, and also the owner of the USO products, what are you guys doing to try and lift up people, either in terms of social responsibility or your time,
I think
yeah.
So for us as a company, obviously one of the, as a company and for myself personally, objective, obviously one of them is around job creation, and we're able to do that greatly with employing young women who are previously unemployed, particularly to go and become consultants in the Edgar stores where we retail. Other things that we do as well is now I think we've started, I don't know if you've seen now on our social media, making sure we had never done other promotional material outside of our core products, and what always stopped us was kind of like, products brought in from China and rebranded. I don't know, it doesn't mean that much to us, and up until now, during this Women's Month, where we actually managed to partner with a network of women in my hometown of Soshanguve to create for us our latest promo material that is running now with during Women's Month. So those are some of the things I would say we do. I offer my time as well to any youth-owned groups, youth-driven groups, to come and share my experiences and my learnings, in terms of and just what I've learned over the past. Now I'm giving away my age. Over the past 22 years or 20 years as a professional, So I think for us it's around that. It's really around job creation. It's about partnering with networks, businesses, other businesses that are small and also up and coming, and grow together.
Yeah. All right. There's a question that's coming up from a lady called Salem. And her question is, can the products be used for facials? Say I decide to use USO going forward. Yeah,
for facials. Pardon? Yes, they can. Yes, we can. And we pre-COVID we had already developed a facial program that we had launched in Edgar stores that have, because they actually have beauty rooms and spas in some of the Edgar stores. So we had launched that facial.
I'm saying at the Marquee Four Ways branch.
Yes, and many of the Edgars, Four Ways, Manlin, Santon, most of the main ones have spas inside. If you didn't know, and very beautiful ones, So definitely they can be used for facials. And we have done it, and with great results.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, so Doc, obviously, post-COVID, things may not be the same as they were before we went into the pandemic. So as a business person, you obviously have to manage business risk, and adapt and do this and do that. How has this pandemic, impacted your business? And yeah, I mean, I don't want you to share your secrets as a business, but generally, how has it, affected you? But also, how have you managed to make sure that you mitigate that negative impact?
I think like most businesses whose main retail platforms were forced to shut down during lockdown, as was our main retail channel, Edgar's, we had to think quickly on our feet, and like it has been globally, like for most companies, is take advantage of what technology and the digital era and e-commerce era that we live in. And as I said, this, so I guess that kind of like presented an opportunity, for us with e-commerce, and that's what we've been focusing on, and just growing our e-commerce activity. So I think for us as a small business, that perhaps that it's a good thing that this year, while we are still so young, because when you're a young business, you have more agility, so you're able to change your processes and change your operations very quickly.
All right, I can see the Speaker of the City Council in Johannesburg, Nongneba Mulwele, or Madam Councillor Nongneba Mulwele. She has just joined us.
Fantastic.
Just left a meeting somewhere to just come and give you a testimony about how she experiences your product. So I won't waste any time. Welcome, Speaker. I don't know, I should just call you Speaker or just say, all right. You can chat to Dr. Theo.
Good evening, Doc, and good evening.
Good evening.
I'm pleased to be here.
Good evening.
Thank you for the invite, Doc. Yes.
Yes, hi.
I'm using the USO product for the first time. I have been using it now, I think from Feb. Yeah, from February, if not March. Yes. I'm a very loyal customer, so
fantastic! Thank you.
It was difficult for me to leave what I used and change to a new product. So I was introduced to this new product by my baby sister, and I was like, Pella, our skin is not the same. Mine is a bit aged, and hers is a bit younger. And she said to me, no, just try it. So I tried it, and I'm telling you, I can see the difference. I'm back to my natural complexion and natural skin. The only thing is that it is very difficult to find. At the beginning, I was told that you get it from Edgar's, and not all the outlets, not all Edgar's outlets. But even those outlets where I was told that I can find it, sometimes I don't find, especially the cleanser. Maybe you can get one product, you don't get the other.
Yes. No, thank you. Yes, we are. So thank you for the positive testimony about how the products have improved your skin. We appreciate that. And with regards to availability, as we were saying, Edgar's has gone through its challenges now, and we're hoping that things will be improving, and we'll be making sure we are in the process of making sure that all the stores are fully stocked going forward. But as we said, we are all, also available online and on various platforms. And so I think in this day and age, that's kind of like the easiest way without having to leave home.
Yes, of course. Yes. In
Yes,
fact,
well,
I was told that you are available online. I'm about to place an order online now, and I think it's the
Fantastic.
easiest. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Especially with
Absolutely.
the current new normal, it's better to order
Exactly.
online. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think so.
Thank
Yes.
you very
But
much.
I
Thank you.
thank
But
you.
I
Thank
must
you
tell you,
very much.
I enjoy the product. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, that's really, really great news. We really appreciate the feedback.
Madam Speaker,
Sure.
you know, before we came into this show, you know, Dr. Theo and I, we said, okay, you know, we'll have one or two people that we may just give something to. Can I use my discretion and say,
Yes.
you know, one of the winter hampers, you know, with the product, you know, we give to Madam Speaker of the City of Johannesburg, you know, we will
Fantastic.
take the details and everything, you know, these are obviously, like I said, you know, you said accessible premium products, but, you know, giving them away, we are not intending to cheapen them in any way, but I think have feedback, you know, will encourage.
Yes, really, really great.
You know, take
Awesome.
the
I agree.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm so
Fantastic.
excited. I'm so excited. So I'm going to place my order after the hamper. I must first see what is in there.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you
So
very
yes,
much.
we'll be sending
I'm
it to
very
you.
excited. So next time you will see me in my, you know, makeups and that.
There's also a head wrap written also that you might just find in that thing, you know?
Yes.
So I can take off what I have and put that.
Yeah. That will make you look fresh, even more fresh than you already are, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated, and pleased to meet you, Dr. Theo.
Yes, so great to meet you, Nongabanyabo. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah,
Okay? And congratulations on your prize.
Thank you. I'm very excited. I won't sleep tonight.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. All right, let's just continue then, Doc. You know, yes, now I think time. Yes, no, I understand.
Yes.
So
I know. Today I don't have technology issues, but I have another meeting.
Yeah, no problem. In fact, we have covered most. So we have only 5 more minutes, which is up to 7:30, and then we will cut our, you know, a conversation so that you can go and do what you need to do, you know, make sure that the family has eaten and everything like that. All right. So, Doc, but what's next for you in terms of the business?
For us, I think for us is.
Let me contextualize my question. You came up with facial products. Are you at any point considering things like body lotions or hand lotions or things like that? And I'm just asking, just obviously, one needs to do a market research to actually think whether there's a need, stuff like that.
No, for sure. So for us, I think the immediate focus really is to just stabilize the business in this new normal that we live in now. So that's the first one, and that also includes us ensuring that the product is widely accessible, easily accessible, you know, continuously increase the number of channels that we are available at. And then in the medium to long term, obviously would like to include other offerings that customers are asking about, you know, make more widely available USO facials, for example. And then definitely we're looking into additional products into the range around eye care, lip care, hand care, and body care. So as a beauty or cosmetics company, you know, there's so much to cover. The scope is so big.
Just one question.
Yeah, so
we'll wrap up, Doc. Yeah, one question. It's a question from a lady, Mpilo Line. The young skin here, even more beautiful with USO. Kindly clarify what is the difference between 04 night and day and night. I ended up having both. Upon reading, they are the same.
No, sorry. 04, night and day, and
04, that's written just night. Is it the same thing? Is it maybe a packaging
no,
mistake or something?
No, it's not a packaging mistake. It's not a packaging. It's a packaging update. So the first the version that she refers to is written night only, and then the updated version is written both day and night. So the function of the yes, but it's the same product. So why we did that was that so the primary function of this 04 active anti-aging serum is around hydration. So it's about intensifying hydration and what we, as we go through, the brand lives and more people use it, and then we get more customer feedback, and also we internally we play around with the products and see what works best. So some people, so what we say with this one is that you use it at night, but for those with very dry skin or very dehydrated skin, you can add it in the morning before your day cream. That's all it means. So that means you can use it during the day. It's not restricted. All our products can be used night and day.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right, Doc, I think we don't have more time. I would have loved to continue, but you also got time pressures. So I just want to thank you for your time. It was important that we give a history to this message and not just focus on the products without knowing the thinking.
Indeed, and I appreciate that.
So I am very, very thankful that you have managed to give us 90 minutes of your time. And I also want to thank all the viewers who have been, glued to this conversation. It seems like a lot of people enjoyed it. And I'm sure it's not the last time that you are here. So thank you very much, Doc. And thank you to everybody else who have joined us. All right.
Thank you so much, Doc Fundile, for having us and giving us the opportunity to share our story and our Uso skincare brand. I really appreciate that.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening.
All right, same to you and family.
Okay.
Sure.
All righty.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Good night, everybody.